Hi, it's Emil from CleanQuote here. Today I'm here with my colleague Sebastian, and we're here to tell you a bit about and share a bit of our experiences that we've encountered while operating and maintaining this whole cleaning platform. So Sebastian, to start off with, for those who don't know what CleanQuote is, could you give them a quick introduction?
Yeah, of course. CleanQuote is a platform that helps you as an operations manager or port captain or anyone who is in the need of whole cleaning supplies or shore cleaning gangs. And we have taken an issue that we have heard. Let's say you are going to Singapore, you need some chemicals, and instead of writing an email to all the suppliers in the port, you can use CleanQuote to send out your request to all the suppliers in the port you have chosen and get quotes back right on the platform. This is totally free for you as a user, and it's a quick and easy way to digitalize your cleaning operations.
Perfect. So now we got the basics covered of what CleanQuote is and why we know a bit about cleaning. So today we'll share some of the most common issues and problems that our users encounter in whole cleaning. Should you have any questions or comments along the way, feel free to send them to us and we'll make sure to answer as many as we can in the end. So the first question, the million-dollar question, how quickly can we get supplies in a specific port?
Yeah, it's a question we often get. They're often out in the last hour before needing the chemicals. So it's often a question, how quick can we get the supplies? And if we look into the data we get from the platform, it's often the issue is often time. They're often out too late. So if they need some chemicals in a certain place and the lead time is 5 days and they are shipping off again in 2, they can't do it in that port or they have to wait. So we have tried to gather some of these lead times and averages on ports around the world.
Well, that sounds great. It definitely makes it easier to know how long does it take to deliver in that specific port, because I know we have about 1,000 ports in the system, and knowing when it's possible to deliver and what you can expect is difficult.
Yeah, it is, and it's very hard because it's always changing. There are always happening things around the world that change the lead time and so on. We could take COVID-19, for example, changes the shipping industry all over the world. The transport time has changed all around, and also we saw when Brexit happened, a normal lead time in Brexit in some circumstances was 1 to 2 days, and after Brexit we saw at the same port that it took up to 7 or 8 days. So it's constantly changing and it's hard to keep track of, and yeah, COVID has also been a big player in these issues because the transport times around the world has really changed, and some chemicals are out of stock, or high pressure machine, or whatever you need. It's different. So yeah. Indeed.
And could you maybe show us a bit about how we gather the data and try to give it back to our users?
Yeah, of course. On CleanQuote, we try to gather all the data that you give us by using the platform. So when you make a request and get some quotes, we take the data from those quotes, such as average lead time, supplies in port. Do you have
average number of quotes?
Yeah, exactly. And we try to give them back to you. So I'll just share my screen here and I will show you guys how it looks on the platform. So I have now logged in on our demo site. So this is how it would look when you log into CleanQuote. And all the data you see here on the platform is just created by us. So it's not on the live. So if you go on to create new right here, and you can choose the type of request you want to make. So in this case, let's say whole cleaning supplies. Then you go and write the vessel name, CleanQuote, we call it in this. You can also add voyage number. You select the country that you're going to. Let's say Gibraltar in this case, a very known port, so let's try that out. And as soon as I choose the port that we're going to, you can see out here on the right side, we'll give you some port information. In this case, for Gibraltar suppliers in port, there are on the platform 8 suppliers. The average amount of quotes received on the platform is 4.2 quotes, and average lead time is 2 days. So we give you this data to give you a quick view of what you can expect in this port. You can also down here see some comments related to the port. So if you have, in this case, my colleague Emil has made a quote for this port, and if he had any comment, it would state right down here. So we try to give you a lot of information before even making the request. Also, you can see shore cleaning gangs is also available, and we have 4 suppliers ready for your request. So in this case, you can also quickly make a request for shore cleaning gang if you need that as well.
Well, that's perfect. So you get a lot more information up front instead of when comparing to just sending an email out. You never quite know what you can expect.
Yeah, exactly.
The next question, another big issue that we often hear is that when you make a request, you ask for, let's say, 10 different chemicals and items, equipment, etc., but you're only able to get a handful of them. Is this something that we see often, and what do you think of this issue?
Yeah, it's definitely a big issue. Suppliers are not always able to deliver all the supplies that needed. They're often giving a very short time to do it and sort it out. So that's why we also built the platform, because maybe you in case like Gibraltar, you know which supplier to call if you need some supplies there. But we often see that maybe the go-to suppliers don't have all the chemicals or equipment needed. And then we think it's better to use a platform like CleanQuote, where you cover the market and ask multiple suppliers at once instead of just asking the one, and at least giving others the option.
Often from what we see is often also that you're not quite sure what you need in good time, so you don't have full knowledge and full traction of what's on the inventory levels. What do you think of this?
That's an issue as well. Once again, time is an issue, and we see that the normal / old way of doing it is the operators often asking the vessel what's on board the vessel, what do you need for cleaning from, let's say, coal to grain or whatever they're cleaning from, and they are often asking the captain of the vessel just before the cleaning needs to be done, and he's sending a rub stating he needs these supplies, chemicals, applicator kits, so on and so on. And if you're going to Altamira, Mexico, and cleaning, and you need all of these items, and you only have a couple of days, it's gonna get tricky. So we have tried to simplify and digitalize this process. And
I guess a lot of the operation managers, both viewing along and using CleanQuote now, can relate to not being 100% aware what's still remaining on board, what is needed, and especially when you take over from a colleague, another vessel is being handed over to you. You kind of have to start from scratch. You have to send another ROB out, even though your colleague might just have done it. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's a lot of possibilities and upsides to making it a cloud-based solution.
Yeah, exactly. Having a one cloud-based platform for your cleaning needs simplifies the process. And let's say you're on holiday and I'm taking over from you, I have to look through the shared inbox and finding the last ROB sent out or something like that, or somebody gets sick, or a lot of things can happen.
I guess there's a lot of pitfalls, and you're depending on your colleague having marked the right one, having it done even.
Yeah.
Well, interesting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we have tried to take all of these issues that we are coming by and try to think how we can simplify, and that's why we have come up with our newest add-on to the platform, the CQ operator module, where we try to digitalize the process of asking what's on board the vessel. So instead of doing it the old way, asking via email and storing it on email and so on, we have made a system that sends out a email to the vessel asking what's on board your vessel, adding a Excel sheet. When the captain has filled out the Excel sheet, he just replies the email, and the sheet automatically uploads onto CleanQuote. And that's some of the things we want to show you now, is how this works, how easy it is, and how you also can make requests out of these ROBs, and you can see your colleagues and take over from a colleague if he's sick or whatever. So Emil, I'll hand it over to you. Will you show us some of the new stuff?
Of course, thank you very much. So this new stuff, as you said, it's brand new. It's a price premium. It's our premium product, but we'll leave that for later. We've digitalized, we've cloud-based everything. So no matter where you are, everybody looks into the same view. You press on the ROB and you instantly see what is remaining on board. You can see everything is organized. You can search through everything, sort it however you like. It's very easy to see what's still remaining on board, what is required deemed by the captain, and then you can very easily act on it, add it to your next request, so you make sure that you get the chemicals, the equipment, or wherever you need as soon as possible. So you don't have to realize last minute in Mexico, Altamira, where the lead time is 7 days. You can see it and act on it in Gibraltar or Singapore, where the lead time is 2-3 days. That not only saves you time, but it also saves time on the vessel, and that's actually where it really counts. That's where the real money is. So we see good results, and
we want to help you guys making it easier. So if we will just share the screen.
So here you can see the dashboard as Sebastian showed you before, and out here to the left you can see fleet, and that is the newest function on CleanQuote. You can see all your vessels that you operate, and if you go into, let's take motor vessel Isabella, and you go over to the ROB, you can see what's remaining on board. So everything is cloud-based, no matter where you are, who logs in, everything is shared across internally in your organization. So it's very easy to see what is the latest status, and if you want to have a new refreshed ROB status from the captain, you simply press request captain to fill out and you press send. It's as easy as that. And if you want to have even more steady and frequent statuses on the inventory levels, you can also set up frequencies, so have it every month, every 2 months, however often you like. This way you're never out in the last minute, and you always know what's remaining on board, and you can act on it as soon as possible.
Yeah, and if we take this one for instance, you can see, if we go up here, I'll just take over, you can easily see the quantity on board. You can see the items required. So in this case, the captain has stated that he needs 50 pairs of dust masks and some other things. So instead of you having to ask via email or something like that now, you can just easily, when you're on the vessel, you can press create request, and then you'll go to the view that I showed you guys before. And here you can say whole cleaning supplies, and it has already chosen the vessel. And on the right side, it will say all the items remaining on board. You can add the ones required. So you don't have to copy paste the thing. The system will take everything needed, and you can say, okay, I'll get a quote for all these items, but shovels, he's not gonna get those. So you can just swing it off, and it's not gonna be included in your request. So it's also an easy way for you to get the items needed. And yeah.
Hopefully you'll see it as a very convenient and more steady way of doing it. Not only does everybody do it the same way, but it's very easily shared across the organization.
And also one of by digitalizing this process is opening for a lot of options. So let's say I send this ROB out to the captain again to get an updated list. He sends it back, and now suddenly a high pressure machine is missing, or there are no hold block remaining on board, or something like that. Then you will get notifications, and the system will say to you, high pressure machine has been removed, hold block has been removed, and then
conditions
you can
as well.
Yeah,
if something goes from an excellent condition to a bad condition, it's good to know upfront instead of realizing again outside of Altamira that you don't have a functioning high pressure machine. That can make cleaning quite an issue.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the things it opened up for, and also it opened up for monitoring consumption. So let's say you can view consumption used on all your vessels, your whole fleet. So now there's a lot of talk about using bleach and other chemicals that are not that good for the environment. So you can monitor how much you use and help you to get a view over it and cut down on these chemicals. And lastly, one of the things it opened up for as well, we have a function on the platform called TC out. Maybe Emil, you can explain a bit about that.
Yeah, it's just a very easy way of trying to have a more structured way of knowing what's on board your vessels when they go out on time charter, and then compare what's on them when they come back from the time charter. So with this function, you press TC out, then we send out an ROB to the captain. You receive a baseline. 6 months later, half a year, 2 years later, it comes back in. You press TC in. Then we have an easy way of comparing, and you can easily see, have they ruined your high pressure machine or used all your chemicals, whatever it might be. Then you have a very easy way of at least asking the right questions.
Yeah, and
I think that was it for now.
There's a lot of more features on the platform. We won't show everything to today. You can always book a demo and we'll show you guys. But,
more than happy.
But we'll carry on and talk about some of the other issues that we encounter or hear from our users on the platform.
And we have to hurry along because I can see we have some questions on online as well. So we'll quickly move forward to the next big issue that we encounter from our users. And that's really what it all boils down to, and that's passing the inspection. Everybody knows it can be troublesome. Sometimes it goes very easily, and sometimes it can cause a lot of issues. Yeah. Especially when you fail, then time is really money, and you need to figure out a solution as soon as possible. Every minute counts, and we want to help this problem. But it can be a tricky issue to find the right help at the right place. So if you fail inspection, you need to find a good and reliable shore cleaning gang that can help you out.
Exactly. And we often getting contacted by guys who are just failed inspection or think they're gonna fail inspection and need help. Because maybe they are in a known port where they have a certain supplier they always use, but in this case the supplier is busy with another client. So what do they do? They ask the agent, or they can come to us. And we often hear in these times where the market is as high as it is, and many of the shore cleaning gangs are quite busy. So we try to gather these suppliers, as we have with whole cleaning suppliers. We have taken the shore cleaning crews on the platform as well. And so we have done the onboarding for all these shore cleaning gangs to make sure they're of a certain standard. And the way we found all these suppliers was actually by asking our users. So we took the phone and called a lot of operators and asked, who would you recommend in, you mentioned earlier, Mexico or Brazil or Gibraltar or whatever.
Houston
also.
Place.
Yeah, and we ask, who do you use? Who would you recommend in this sport? And then we contacted these companies and had some meetings with them and made sure they were of a certain standard. So when you need shore cleaning gangs, you can go to CleanQuote as well and send out a request. You can always choose how long you want these suppliers to have to quote on your request. So you just failed inspection, you're in a hurry, you can give them 6 hours, 24 hours, how long you think is suitable, and you can wait for it. And we often see they actually are quite quick. Because this is a direct line to the suppliers. So when you send out the request, all the suppliers in the port you have chosen gets an email. They can act on it right away. There's a message function on the platform as well. So you can write directly to all the suppliers. So, and they can ask questions directly to you. So if they need some photos of the hole or whatever, they can just write you directly on the platform. And yeah, that way we can hopefully help you guys save some time and get the right suppliers in time, so you can pass the inspections.
Yeah, and huge kudos to all of our suppliers to being so quick.
Yeah.
Time is money, as said before. So it's great that we can get so many quotes in such short time. It really helps in that very bad situation. Maybe you could also tell us, now you mentioned the agent, a lot of people go through the agent. Mm-hmm. Why is this an issue from your point of view?
It's often an issue because they have some certain suppliers or vendors that they would recommend, and they in not all agents, but in certain places they are taking a big cut. So they are referring to a certain vendor and they get a cut because they get business. Of course, it's no secret that we take a cut as well, because it's free for all of users to use the platform. We of course have to live and earn some money somehow. So the suppliers, we take a small cut if they get business, but we see it as a win-wins, because they only have to pay if they get business, and it's a very small cut compared to what we hear.
And most importantly, it's always 100% up to the operator. So when going through to an agent, you often only get one option. With us, our main goal is to give you as many options so you can choose whatever, for whatever reason you go with the supplier that you choose, whether it's for price or speed or manpower, whatever it might be. It's you who decide. That's I guess the main reason for going the CleanQuote way.
Yeah, and maybe I can see we're running out of time. So if we take some of the questions, we have
yes.
gotten a few. We can't.
I'll let you start off.
Take them all, but we can start off with the one. I'll just have it up here. We have the first questions. If the platform is only for hold and shore cleaning. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, let me. I can answer it quite quickly. At the moment, it is only whole cleaning equipment, chemicals, ladders, high pressure machine, everything you need for crew cleaning. And then we have shore cleaning gangs as well, as mentioned. Within half a year, a few months hopefully, we'll also have underwater services. So you can request underwater inspections, propeller cleaning, and complete hull cleaning as well. So hopefully you'll save both time and cost and get it done a bit more frequently, and also get the structure and data that is also very important in this area. So, but more on that later. Maybe we'll make a new webinar when we're up and running with that.
Yeah. Just to take on the next one, we have one here asking the price of the platform by using it.
Well, that's also very easy. Simply for requesting the old CleanQuote, sending requests and receiving quotes, that is 100% free. There is no cost for the operator. As we also teased a bit about, we have this new premium on CleanQuote, CQ Operator. Very creative name from CleanQuote. But this is a price premium, so it costs based on your fleet size. But if you have any questions or are curious about how it works, just give a reach out to Sebastian. He'll gladly let you know everything about it.
Yeah.
And I can see here I've talked for quite a bit now. I'll give you the last question.
Yeah.
It is regarding some of this data that we have, and is it our client here is asking whether we can see price indications on cleaning chemicals.
Yeah, not at the moment, but also one of the features we are trying to add to CleanQuote as well. So at the moment you can see amount of suppliers in the port, you can see the average lead time, and you can see the average amount of quotes you're receiving. So at the moment we're also gathering data as transport cost. We can see is something that varies as well. So in some ports it's a large amount of the offer, and also the prices. But the tricky part is with prices. Some have some price agreement and some don't. And what we're trying to build into the platform, so you can view prices in the future, but it's your prices. So we'll gather your average prices for, let's say, a high pressure machine in Gibraltar. If you get some quotes for that in Gibraltar, we'll store the data about the price and can give it to you in the future. So next time you're pressing on Gibraltar, creating a request, you can easily see some average prices for you.
Well, yeah. I guess that would be a valuable information trap, whether to go to port A or B. If you can see both lead time and amount of quotes and also prices, then you have full information up front, so you can make the best decision.
Yeah, and unfortunately we don't have any more time, so
time flies when you have fun.
Yeah, we will there's still some questions I can see here. We will send a email and reply all your questions, so it hopefully helps. And if there's anything else, you can always contact Emil or I. Yeah.
And you can go to cleanquote.com if you want any more information. You can also find our phone numbers and emails on there. And yeah, don't hold back. Give us a shout out if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, take care.
Bye bye.